Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those that are living in Canada. What are you doing, pushing in your stool?
No, I'm making myself the same height as you.
I'm so lofty you'll never get there. Yeah, really. What is it? It looks like we're sitting far apart. Could you move in a little bit?
Why should I sit next to you?
Well, people want to see your face. I don't know why. I've seen it.
Well, they can see my face.
Yeah, I see your face. Whatever. Hello, everybody. We were having a little argument over Walter's pattern terminology. I don't know where you were getting this terminology. I think you make it up.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
I know what I mean, and that's all that matters.
Hello, everybody. Oops. Well, it's your screwy quilt, so you do you. Whatever. Okay, who have we got here? Welcome, everybody. Dawn is here, and Sweet Granny's here. She's under the weather. Well, better than being under a truck, I suppose. Hope you're feeling better soon. Nellie is here. Sue is here. Kelly. Kelly says, "Hello, happy Thanksgiving. We're going to my sister's in Langley, BC for turkey tomorrow." They don't grow them out in your end of the world? I don't know. I wonder if Langley, BC turkeys taste different than Ontario turkeys. We have turkeys in our backyard, real ones.
Yeah, they're probably tough.
Tough old birds. And Kelly also says, "We just got back from picking up my folks at the Vancouver cruise terminal." Well, that's nice. They were on a cruise, were they? How nice for them. Barb's here. Judy is here. Derek is here. Philippa is here. Hello, Philippa. Philippa, I want to know something. Do you guys have Thanksgiving in Australia? Just wondering. Hello, Stephanie. You hot babe, you. Kelly thought we had matching shirts for a second. No. Blues.
He's got pussies. I've got leaves.
Yeah, you've got weed and I've got pussy. Okay, so there you go. Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Just have a minute. Want to say hello. Well, hello, Amy. Beverly is here. She sides with Walter. Yeah, all the time, I'm sure, Bev. You do that anyways. Aren't you president of the fan club? Stephanie, that will go to their head. Yeah. So, I don't have a problem with that. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. Pamela's here. Yep, so I guess all the important people are here. Since we're on an hour earlier today, people seem to remember. That's great. Hello, Janet. Hello, Kay. They don't have Thanksgiving in Australia. Guess they're not thankful for anything.
Maybe they have thanks receiving.
Thanks receiving. Yes. Oh, thank you. What did you get me for Thanksgiving? A turkey. Yeah. So, we're off to my sister's today for din-dins, and so she wants us over there for about 5 o'clock, and that's she's about 20 minutes, half an hour away from us. So, we had to do this an hour early to make sure we get there on time, and we're having, as I said last week, we're going to get to meet the new girlfriend, my nephew's new girlfriend. I don't know. I think we should start a pool. How long will this one last? Will it be this usually in university, we used to call it when people had a boyfriend or a girlfriend when they came out of high school and went into university. By Thanksgiving, they usually drop them. So we called that the turkey dump. Yeah. In my nephew's case, he picks them up it's a pickup
picks
turkey.
Picks them up for Thanksgiving and then
drops them at Christmas. Yeah. Well, then I have to buy them again.
Or he drops them at Christmas.
Yeah, I think it was.
All they have to do is get through today's dinner, and they might if they live through today's dinner, they might last.
Well, my sister didn't say I had to be on my best behavior. I hope she's on her best behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how many kids she has.
Yeah, I wonder how many kids this one has. Yeah, the last one had a kid. I think I told that story where she was there texting, as they do at that age, I guess, at the table, under the table.
Not listening to anybody.
Well, there was nothing to listen to except because, unless you were into Monty Python and want to listen to my nephew and niece and my sister recite every line from every Monty Python movie that was ever made and listen to them laugh like an inside joke. I don't know. I just kept drinking wine, so I didn't care. When I said to her, "Oh, who are you texting?" "Oh, I'm just checking on my daughter." "Oh, my sister neglected to tell me that you have a child." So that just from there on in, it kind of went downhill after that, especially when I said, who's your daughter being looked after right now while you are here? Oh, her father. So begged the question, I know these newfangled modern kind of wedding things where people don't get married, just have the kids first and decide sometime down the road by the time the kid's 20, maybe we'll get married. Or why screw up a good thing, I guess. I don't know. And I said, oh, okay. But I took it she had not married this guy. But he had co-custody of the kid, so I guess they had an amiable relationship. Well, I guess that was good. But then I got thinking, my nephew, Daddy, I don't think so. He can hardly look after himself, let alone look after a kid and a wife and anything else. So, yeah, maybe next decade. He's getting close to the next decade.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We're not talking pure about someone who's 17, okay, or 19. We're talking about somebody that's about 28, 27, 28. So, lives in the basement. Whatever. Let's see, what are people saying here? Callie says, usually our Thanksgiving dinner's on Sunday, but harder with Mom and Dad just getting back. Yeah, that would do it. Amy says, I'll have to catch the replay. Turkey dub. Oh, you are wicked. I love it. Yep. You ever heard turkey dub? That's pretty common. At least it was when I went to university.
Yes, in this area, because Thanksgiving runs pretty close to when school starts, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Thanksgiving in the U.S. is later.
Closer to Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
Lily's here. Hello. You guys look lovely today. Happy Thanksgiving.
It might be October dump in
October dump. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, always looking on the bright side of life. Barb says, Steve, don't scare the new girlfriend away. Well, if she wants to be in our family, she's just going to have to get used to it.
That's okay. We don't scare people away. It's probably your sister that scares people.
Yeah, it's more the thing. Yeah. Kelly says, hubby and I got married when we were 26 and responsible adults. Yeah, it seems like these kids are staying kids much longer these days than in our day. But, whatever. I wish him good luck with that one.
Well, maybe at his age, he needs a package deal.
Maybe.
Won't have any of his own.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What's this up here on the top of the screen? It says, focus on your live stream and let YouTube insert ads for you. No, I don't think I want ads coming into the live stream. Mm-hmm. Somebody I was watching their live or something, or the replay of their live, and they were complaining about that the suddenly they were getting ads in the middle of the live stream. Okay, no, we don't want that. During the replay,
you get enough ads as it is.
I know. Why do we need that in the middle of a live? No, I don't think so. And then they stick up this blue thing. Now would be a good time to insert ads. No, it's not. Jeez. YouTube is just driving me mental when it comes to their newfangled features that they have for everything. But anyway, so we got ahead of ourselves on Thanksgiving. So what have I been working on? Well, let me throw some things up here on the screen for you to see. And that's not what I wanted to do. Go back here. Oh, stop giggling. I've had a rough day. Things have not been cooperating, mostly you.
What do you mean? I've been upstairs. You've been downstairs. What?
Well, it started in the middle of the night when that phone call came. When my phone
and you kept accusing me of my phone.
Well, I thought it was your phone.
It was your phone right next to your head.
But it didn't come up and say there was a text message.
And plus, it made a noise that mine doesn't ever make.
Oh, I set that up for mine so I could hear if I got a text message.
Mine doesn't do that, so it had to be yours.
Well, anyways, it was one of those scam things, where they're trying to tell me at midnight that a credit card, my bank card from the Royal Canadian Bank, had been compromised, and they gave me a website to go to. Yeah, and
apparently I read they put these things in the middle of the night so that you wake up and you're half asleep, and so that you can panic.
Well, anyways, I did a little research today on how I could avoid those, because they don't come up with a number. Like sometimes if you get a text message and it's not somebody in your contact, it'll come up with a number they're calling from, and then you can block that. But these ones don't have a number come up. But I found a setting that you can put anything that comes up in your text messages that isn't linked to somebody in your contact list. You can send it to its own little room to sit there for all time and not bother you, and it won't go off or anything like that. Your phone won't warn you. It just automatically sends it off to this spot. So that's what I'm doing to that now. But I got it again this morning, early this morning at about 4 o'clock this morning as well. Same thing. Well, I was already awake anyway, so they didn't catch me asleep.
Yeah, well, they're trying to, I read that. That's the latest tactic, is they call you in the middle of the night and try and create some urgency so you're half asleep and you read the message wrong or something like that, and you think it's you're actually being infected.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know.
They're always looking for new ways to scam you out of money.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hi, Nadine. Nadine's here. Judy says, husband and I got married at 19, going to be celebrating 46 years next month. Well, congratulations.
However, when at your age, when you were 19, you were probably more responsible than a lot of these kids now at 26.
Yeah, that's for sure. But anyways, what I was going to show you is right here. So I finished my gnome, another gnome table runner. This was applique, and I think I mentioned that.
Didn't you show this last week?
Yeah, I think I did show it, but I don't know if did I tell them that I contacted the fabric store they got this from, because there's these fade marks on it. Oh, maybe I did. Well, anyways, it's worth looking at again. Oh, maybe I didn't have it bound though last week. Be. No, I didn't have it bound. That's what it is. So now it's bound. It's done. Okay, move on.
I'll show you the other thing, the disappearing Santa.
You can see him. Okay, after I finished this, this posh Santa, I did think maybe I should have used a little bit darker background color on it.
Okay.
How about you go outside and stand behind the car, and I'll take it out of the driveway. If I hear a bump, I'll figure it out if it comes to hitting you. But anyways, well, then Walter said, well, why don't you go around the beard on the outside with a stitch in the ditch kind of a thing in a little darker color? Maybe that'll make it stand out. Well, at the time, I didn't think that was such a bad idea, even if it did come from Walter. And so I tried that this morning. I started it and I went, nope. I tried 3 different colors. I just didn't like it. It made it look crappy. So I'm leaving it as is. I mean, you can see it. You can see it's a beard.
I guess.
I'd like to see you make one of these. Ha! It would confuse you to no end. And it's curved piecing. I'm very proud of the fact that I managed to do curved piecing on that. Had to use a special ruler too. Anyways, I like it. It's cute. It's done. Move on. Actually, I have another one that's called Posh Cat or Posh Kitty, which uses this ruler as well. And it's very modern looking, that one. And I might do that someday. And we have a purple pepper. I don't know if you've ever seen a purple pepper. I didn't know that purple peppers existed, but we had a mystery. Why do we have a purple pepper? Where did we get the seeds?
Because the seeds that I have are a mixed bag of seeds of different colored peppers.
Oh.
So I didn't know they had purple ones.
It almost looks like an eggplant, or for those of you in Europe, an aubergine. Well, actually, I don't know how it's going to taste. We haven't picked it yet.
Well, no, it's supposedly we should pick it.
Because we could get frost.
Yeah, it's cold out today, but it's not supposed to freeze tonight. So.
Because, I hate to waste our little purple pepper. It's almost a shame to cut it. And but you said we had another one coming in under the grow lights.
Yeah, we have one, but because it's coming out in the grow lights, it's darker color.
What, a darker purple?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, anyways, who knew?
Well, I read online that they taste pretty much the same and they're green inside.
Oh, well, we don't know yet. We haven't cracked or open. I'm kind of don't want to crack it open. So, who is here? Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy. A bit late. I've been watching Strictly Results show while suffering from a bout of COVID. Well, sorry to hear that you're sick. I'm not sure what watching Strictly is. Is that Strictly Ballroom? It's a movie. I know there's a movie called Strictly Ballroom. I've seen it. I like it, actually. They They have turkey. Lucy says they have turkey at Christmas. Actually, we have turkey at Christmas too, for the most part. We get turkey twice in the year. Good thing that Thanksgiving and Christmas are a little bit spread out for us. Kelly says, looks cute, I think. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or what that is. Pat says, almost missed it. Happy Thanksgiving to my Canadian friends. Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. Happy family gathering. We've been married for 56 years. Okay, now it's a pissing contest. You want to guess how long Walter and I have been together? Seems like forever.
It has been forever.
Yeah. Take a guess. Take a guess how long you think Walter and I have been together. I think we've mentioned it before. Kelly says, Patsy, you're all good. The holiday is actually tomorrow, so do our celebrations on Sunday, though. Yeah, technically, somebody was asking on, I popped into Sean, the guy who sews, was doing a live with Becca, and I popped in for a second, and they were kind of asking why it was that we have Thanksgiving on a Monday and the Americans have theirs on a Thursday. So I did a little research, and apparently the reason we have Thanksgiving on a Monday is because just after the First World War, after they signed the armistice, whatever, peace, they decided that they would do Thanksgiving on the Monday of the week that Remembrance Day was on. Well, that's in November. But then in 1957, apparently one of the governor generals at the time decided that they were going to standardize it and just say it was going to be the second Monday of October. Not really sure why they did that, although maybe they want to remove it a little bit away from Remembrance Day so that, you didn't have two. At that time, Remembrance Day was sort of a holiday as well. Maybe they didn't want the two so close together, which would make sense. I don't know, but that's why. Lucy says, Strictly is a celebrity dance competition. It's tremendous fun. I've been married for 40 years. Yeah, we've been together for 40 years. We've only been married for...
Well, almost 40.
It'll be 40 on December the 21st this year. But we've been married for 18 years. We got married in 2005. So Strictly equals UK version of Dancing with the Stars. Oh, okay. Ballroom dancing competition with celebrities, short for Strictly Come Dancing. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now, Lucy and Derek. Kelly says it was a compliment. I liked your Santa. Okay, thanks, Kelly. I assumed it was a compliment. I'll take it. Marilyn's, yep, 40 years, 39 or 40, yep. Married 38? No, we haven't been married for 38 because we couldn't be. Because marriage wasn't legal for us until 2004. So we got married in 2005, the year after it became legal. We don't celebrate our wedding anniversary because that's just the anniversary of when
we're allowed to.
Yeah, we were allowed to and decided that we would. So
yeah.
Plus, it was time to get back at all the breeders because we'd been to all their bloody weddings and given them all kinds of gifts. It's time for them to give us some. It was a revenge wedding. Yeah. Colleen says, I beat most of you. I've never been married.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's right. In fact, you're probably wiser than
you're
some,
probably
Colleen.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Well, you've never been divorced either. So.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. Works on all levels. Lily says, great job on the curve piecing. Looking forward to see how you quilt it. Yeah, I'm thinking possibly snowflakey with swirls kind of a thing. I do have a pattern like that. Color-wise, maybe a light silvery gray. I don't know with that. There's a lot of negative space there. So, but at the same time, you don't want it necessarily to take away from the actual, the Santa thing either. So, I don't know yet. We'll see. Nadine says, oh, love your answer. I hope you didn't use pins for your curve piecing. No, I didn't. Actually, there's a special ruler that I had to buy for this particular pattern and for cutting the stuff. And they told you to mark down on let's call it the L piece, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've sewn curves. Think of a drunkard's path. So you got the piece that's got the curve cut out of it, then you've got the curve itself. They told you to measure down on some of those pieces 1/2 inch from the top or 1/4 of an inch. It depended on the way the pieces were going in this. And then just to put the top edge of your curve with the right sides together, the two pieces, right at that line point, and then you just eased it in around. It was actually very easy to do. Plus, the benefit of it was, if you were off by a little bit, it didn't matter because you trimmed it down. So they made the initial blocks fairly generous. And so when you trimmed it down, everything worked out evenly. It was pretty simple. The instructions at first were a little confusing on how to use the ruler, but I eventually got it figured out. And once you did, it went along really easily. So they call that the M something ruler. There's two sizes. That one called for the mini, then there's a larger one. It's actually not a bad system for doing curves. So yeah, that worked out okay. But yeah, I didn't use pins. The very first time I ever sewed curves, it was recommended you pin it. I went, the hell with that. I think I did it once and I went, this will take me forever to do it. And so I didn't bother. And if you just line the two up, and I had somebody show me at Ultimate Sewing, because it was a class where we had some curves in it, and you just line them up next to your presser foot in a sort of straight line and just take a few stitches at a time. Don't rush yourself and don't stretch your fabric, but you lift the top one up a little bit and from the bottom one, and you just slide them together.
Do you use shorter stitches?
I didn't, but I use a fairly short stitch anyways. I use a 1.80.
Yeah, I know. When I do curve stuff on garments, I always bring it right down to like 1 or something, and it's easy.
Pattern didn't say to do that, and I never have, and I never had any problems. I never had any problems with it. So you could, though. I think. Well, I'm already at a fairly small stitch at 1.80 because I know some people piece with a little longer stitch, like about a 2.0. But I don't. I use a 1.80.
Well, your machine defaults to 1.
Yeah, that's why I use it that way. So that's what I've always done. Yeah. Hi, Melissa. Did you have an AccuQuilt die for the curved piecing? No. It's a ruler with cutout in it, with a line that you put. It fits your rotary cutter in, and you line it up in a certain way. They tell you how to do that, and then you just around, and that's how you do the curve. So nope, didn't use the AccuQuilt at all for that. I have used the AccuQuilt for Drunkard's Path because I have a Drunkard's Path die, and I did do a Drunkard's Path quilt at one point in time. But for this, nope, had a special ruler. Lucy says, I made a Drunkard's Path, no pins, no trimming. It worked very easily. Yeah, if you get things lined up.
Could you show us your ruler?
Yeah, I could show you the ruler. Where to put my ruler? Here it is. This is the ruler. Okay, it's called a QCR mini ruler. It's by So Kind of Wonderful. Here, let me put a piece of paper behind it. That is what it looks like. And you see it's got a cutout here. There's just the one cutout. And that's where you put your rotary cutter. They suggested you use a 45 millimeter rotary cutter, but my 45 millimeter rotary cutter is a piece of crap. I used my 60. The 60 worked fine. You just go slow. The reason they want you to use a 45 is just so that you don't cut in like around the curve. I didn't have any problem with the 60 though. Worked fine. And then there's all these marks on this ruler, and they tell you how to line this up on your pieces. And there's different positions depending on the piece, because not all those pieces in that are exact curves. Like some of them are more oblong. Hiccups. But yeah, this ruler was about $25, I think, or $23.99 or something like that. And of course, I'm talking Canadian. But it worked really well. And there's other things you can use it for too. It's not just a one-off if you want to get into curves. I'm not a fan of sewing curves, but this did make it fairly easy. And like I said, they made them bigger than you needed, and then when you were trimming them down, they came out perfect. So yeah, so that's how that worked as well. Let's see. Lucy said she used about a 2 or 1.8 millimeter. Yeah, I've been looking at the AccuQuilt. Do you think it's worth it? Candace says yes, I do. I've talked about the AccuQuilt quilter quite a bit on the Idiot Quilter on those vlogs, but it is an expensive. It's a big investment. Okay, there's no two ways about it, especially if you buy the Go Big electric. And in my estimation, you should spend the money on the Go Big electric for many reasons. One is if you're an older person, you know, you get a little arthritis in your hands. If you've got to crank that sucker, they're cheaper. But if you're cranking all the time, and if you've got severe arthritis or any other problem, carpal tunnel, something like that, then it's worth the money for the electric. Also, the Go Big will use the biggest dies. There's only one machine bigger than a Go Big electric, and that's the studio one. And that one's an industrial machine. That's usually what maybe stores might buy. Right? And it's crank. Yeah, it's not electric. And there are a couple of dies that are built just for that one. But again, they're meant for doing multiple cutting, like in a store, or if you were making kits up and you were selling them, something like that. It's more of an investment in your business. But I really like my Go Big, and I do like the dies. I look at a pattern, and if I can use a die for cutting the stuff, I will, because you get a much more accurate cut. And I really don't care how careful a cutter you are and what technique works for you. And there's going to be somebody on here who says, I never have any problem cutting straight. It always comes out perfect every time. Well, bully for you. That's all I say. Is if it's working for you, then good for you. Go for it. It didn't work for me. Sometimes your ruler slips. That happens. Okay. And also it takes more time. The AccuQuilt, you can cut up to 6 layers of fabric at one shot. The dies are designed, in some cases, like if you're doing 2.5-inch squares, they'll have 4 of them on one die. So basically, with 6 layers of fabric, 4 squares, you can cut 24 2.5-inch squares like that, which is good, especially if there's something you're doing that's got a lot of half square triangles or something like that. You can, I mean, unless you really enjoy cutting. I don't really enjoy cutting fabric. I want to get to the sewing, but, you know, cutting, kind of have to do the cutting, don't you? So, yeah, I think it's worth the money. I do not regret spending money on it, and I've spent a lot of money buying a lot of dies. And I've got almost all of the ones that come in boxes. They're called Cube. They're expensive, and they come in different sizes, but they do a lot in combination. So, yeah, Walter bought me quite a few of those at one point for Christmas one year. You know, in the States, it's a little cheaper, especially when it comes to shipping. Shipping to Canada is astronomical because they weigh so much.
If you want to buy directly from AccuQuilt and you live in Canada, it's actually quite expensive to have it shipped to you. So, but if you can find a supplier in Canada,
like I have a supplier,
then it's not so bad. But anywhere, even if you buy it, well, no, actually, if you buy a supplier, will ship to you as well. So
yeah,
and yeah, but it's because of the weight of the dies.
Yeah,
I'm sure when you try and get it shipped from the U.S. and plus you always get nailed in Canada. Well, we get nailed with duties and things like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do think it's worth it, but it is sticker shock. If you've never ever investigated the price of them, yeah, they're pricey little tool. Nadine says, I do have that ruler. Don't know how to use it. It should have come with instructions, Nadine. Mine did. It was inside the package, and it explains how to do it.
Wouldn't there be a YouTube video maybe?
Oh, there's probably tons of YouTube videos. Just do a search for that QCR Mini or whatever, or the Maxi. I don't know what they call the bigger one. But I'm sure there's tons of YouTube videos for that. I'm just looking here. Colleen says, thanks, and it's a bit cheeky. What's a bit cheeky? I missed something. I don't know. Derek says, I've always make at least one mistake when cutting, even when trying to be careful. Just one of those things, hence when I always buy extra fabric just in case. Oh yeah, me too. I'm for sure I'm going to make a mistake in the cutting. And you know, it's not hard to do that. Like,
You make mistakes?
I made a lot of them this afternoon. I'm okay, so, well, I'll come to that in a second. Just let me catch up on everybody's comments here. Yeah, Lucy, AccuQuilt's very expensive anywhere you get it. I'm lucky. We've got Quilter Quilting that's not that far from us, and they're an authorized dealer. Candace says, I'm in Georgia, so shipping isn't an issue. Yeah, because AccuQuilt's what? Located in, it's down there in the southern part of the States, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's sort of
I
in
thought
the
it was.
northern part. I forget where it's located. But it's sort of in the middle
Oh, okay.
somewhere.
Well, if you're in the States, it's still closer to you than it is for us. Colleen says, I have many problems cutting, but not much room to store an AccuQuilt and all the dies. I bought lots of plastic templates instead, to get a machine, I get the bigger electric one. Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, the storage is a bit of a problem. I have a wall of AccuQuilt dies. And they do take up a lot of room. But anyways, talking about problems with cutting. So let me switch my camera here for a second because I want to talk about... Okay, see the kitty next to Santa on my design wall? All right, that's the pattern that was voted on for me to do with the 4S collab. And I was happy about that. I thought. It's called the Scrappy Kitties. So I pulled it out today because I wanted to figure out what I was going to use for color fabrics, and I'm going to make it look scrappy. I'm using chroma, actually. Stephanie will be happy because she loves chroma. I have a chroma fat quarter bundle, and I'm going to use it. There's something terribly wrong with that kitty right now. I've got one of the strips upside down. It's an easy fix, but you can see down at the bottom of the kitty, there's this white triangular piece at the bottom. That should have gone up.
That should have been his shoulder.
That should have been his shoulder. That shouldn't be there. I got that strip upside down. But the other problem was, when I opened up the pattern, I had looked at this pattern before. I think I bought this pattern off of an Etsy store back when I first got into quilting about 5 years ago. And at that point in time, I didn't know what I know now. And I read the instructions and I was completely lost. But I drew a diagram out, trying to figure, it's basically mostly half square triangles, no big deal. Although you can get them flipped around the wrong way. And when you're like me, I'm geometrically challenged. So, you know, you show me a pattern. I'm almost dyslexic when it comes to shapes. You show me a shape and ask me to put it down the way that you're showing it to me, I'll probably turn it upside down or sideways. I do this all the time. No wonder I wasn't any good in geometry when I went to high school. But anyways, I'm looking at those instructions again. They're horrible. I have no idea what they're talking about. They talk about using fat quarters, but they don't really tell you specifically what to cut out, except then they talk about using yardage, and they show you how this big elaborate diagram with all these lines for cutting. Okay, this many pieces this way, this many pieces this way. Basically, if you're somebody that's as cheap as hell, you're not going to waste any fabric if you follow their cutting instructions. But the problem is, you don't know where those pieces are supposed to go. Then they talk about 2 different methods for assembling the blocks, and the half square triangle method makes sense to me, but the other one they're doing with the little diagram they've got, I don't know what they're doing. So that's why I must have made this other diagram for myself and forgot all about it. So I took my diagram and I reworked it, and I've pretty much got it down, except I got that one strip turned upside down. I think that was just half an hour before we came on here, and I think I was rushing a little bit. But I did pull out several squares, trying to get them in the right order. Part of the problem is I decided to do this with the chroma pack, as I said. So I picked out for this particular block the orangey reds, about 4 fat quarters that were in that spectrum. My theory is that I'm going to do that with all the colors. Well, when you start doing the half square triangles, it's very easy because the colors are very close to get them turned the wrong way. And then when I'm cutting them, okay, I'm thinking, oh, well, the half square triangles are 2.5 inches when you get them made. Yes, they are. But in order to get a 2.5 inch half square triangle, you need to start with 2 3-inch blocks. I forgot that. So guess what I did? I made a whole bunch of 2.5 inch half square triangles that when I sewed them together were about 2 inches. So they're too small. So I had to go back and redo that. So yeah, good thing I'm doing only one block right now. I'll get it down pat. I've got my instructions for myself, but I've literally rewritten the pattern for it. So yes, I didn't think this one was going to be that big a challenge. And when everybody voted for it, I went, yay! Should have known. Nothing's ever easy for me. But anyways, I'm working on it. Now, if you see over on the far side, you're probably wondering what those blocks are. Those are in the hoop, embroidered blocks. I'm making a table runner for a friend of ours that we've been invited to her 60th birthday party in November. So I have sort of made this one before, but this is not it isn't an in the hoop design. There is some applique in it, in the hoop. Most of it's mostly embroidery, but it is not a complete in the hoop project. I bought a block. It's a block, and the block only has 3 of those little Dresdens in it. And I've designed it in such a way that I was able to put 4 of those together, swing them around, add the centerpiece, and there's some quilting there. You can't see it with this camera on it. But there is a quilting pattern in it as well. But I did that by combining elements to create it. So it's kind of my design based on an already existing block that they had, and I've added to it and whatnot. As I said, I've made 2 of these before. I made one for Christmas, and I made one that's an everyday kind of thing. And she likes red, so that's why I've got red in it and the black. It looks better in real life. But when I get it all done and all put together and the sashing into it and things like that, I'll show it to you then.
Yeah, I looked up AccuQuilt, right? And it's located in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
I always get mixed up what state it's in. But yeah, that's not down at, that's sort of in the center.
Oh, okay. That's sort of the center. Yeah. Yeah, so, she's asking Stephanie which pattern she's doing. Kat says, I thought you said you were going on at 3 today. Oops, I should have remembered that sooner. Yeah, I did. And we did.
Yeah, it's past 4:30 now.
It's past 3:30 now.
Oh, sorry, 3:30.
Yeah, we did. So, Kathy, I'm confused. Oh, you're probably in a different time zone than we are. It's probably it threw you right off. Because right now it is 3:20 to 4 here.
Oh, sorry.
So, we're on...
I can't even read my watch.
Gee, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Colleen says...
It takes one to know one.
Yeah, really. Well, Colleen says, we're so lucky to have you, Stephen, checking out patterns before we buy them. Yes, I do it all for you because I'm an idiot. Just giggle to yourself. Just giggle, giggle, giggle. They love it when you laugh. Probably because your little face scrunches all up and you look like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you do. Candace says, love the Santa. What pattern is that from? It is called Posh Santa. It is by... I filed the little way. Second. Right here. Or maybe it's not. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. There it is. I found it. Yay, it was in my drawer. Okay. It is by a company called So Kind of Wonderful. So as in SEW. Posh Santa. And their website is so kind of wonderful, all one word.com. I didn't buy it online. I bought it at that store we went to in Cambridge called Dancing Stitches. And that's where I bought the ruler too. I had seen this pattern before. I think I saw it last Christmas as well. And I thought about it then, but then when I saw you had to have a special ruler, and I thought, and it's curves, do I want to do it? So, well, I did. So it's done. So, yeah. So, Posh Santa by So Kind of Wonderful. Okay. Lucy says, if it were too easy, it would be boring. That is very true, Lucy. Does your Father Christmas have eyes? He has one eye. It's hard to see it in that that I was showing you up there, but he does. See, if you look here,
because they used a darker one in there than you did.
Actually, I used the color they said. They said to use gray.
Yeah, but they use a dark gray. You used a light gray. Look at the board. Okay, look at and the background is gray too.
I didn't have that color. I didn't like it. I'd like to see you make one of these. I really would.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I chose a background color that isn't close to white.
Did your mother have any children that lived? No.
Yes.
I don't think so. Anyways, I like it. I think it's lovely. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bite me hard. Okay. Yeah, he's a one-eyed Santa. This little cap goes over his other eye. Okay. Yes, Stephanie picked the Puffin Star. Yep. That'll look really good.
And he has a nose too. It's the same color as
why don't you just get off the case? Why don't you see this pen? Why don't you sit on it and spin? You'd probably like that. Diana's here. Hi, Diana.
See, LMAO. You know what that means now?
Where?
Right in the bottom. Melissa says that.
Oh, laughed my ass off.
You didn't know what that meant yesterday. He says, what does that mean?
I don't remember short forms. I don't use short forms. Except one. FU. I use that a lot.
Like he asked me last week was, what does IDK mean?
IDK.
And I said, I don't know.
And I said, yeah, but what does IDK mean? Oh, yeah. And he just giggled and giggled for days about that. Yeah, okay. I'm glad you have a lot of fun laughing at me. I mean, I wouldn't want to make you feel sad. So, anyway, so what have you been working on, Walter?
Not much.
No, but you ordered stuff for something from Spoonflower.
Oh, yeah, I ordered some fabric from Spoonflower. Hopefully I'll get it in time. Yeah, we were invited to November 11th, a birthday party for a lady I worked with, Gail, or not worked with, sew with, Gail, and it's sort of a 60s theme. So,
well, we're in our 60s.
I bought some retro fabric, so
we're in our 60s. So we can with ourselves.
So make a couple of retro shirts. So
if it comes in time.
Yeah.
So did Spoonflower usually takes a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I haven't ordered anything from them.
As long as I get it by the end of October, I've got a week to do it.
You got to make two. Yeah, well, I don't know. You might be able to.
I think I can if I put my mind to it.
Oh, Barb says she used to have a doctor named Dr. F.U. Foo. Kelly says, I'm making Halloween coasters while I listen to you two bicker. Well, good for you. You ought to find something more serious to make. Coasters. Really? I'm just joking, Kelly. I just figured I'd get at you. Smiley face. Yeah, whatever. Diana says, love your sense of humor, Walter. He's yours, Diana. Okay.
That rubbed off of Steve when he was younger. He used to have a sense of humor, too.
And then I found you. And that killed all the humor. All the joy in my life went right out the window. Yeah. So, some coming up events. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, as usual, Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. All are welcome. Link for that is in the show notes. Okay, I got a bring you up to date on what's going on with the retreat. I've had a couple of people drop out for various reasons, but I had a waiting list, and I still do, and I was able to replace those dropouts with people on the waiting list, and those people that were on the waiting list who now have a spot, you know about it already because I sent you an email and you sent me back a confirmation, so all's good. So what I'm looking for now is for those of you that are registered, and those of you that haven't done this yet, many of you have already, thank you very much. Send me one picture of a favorite creation or something you're very proud of. No explanation, just a picture in JPEG format, please. And I'm going to include it in the slideshow that I always do at some point during the retreat. However, also be sure to sign your name to it. I had one came in today. The person didn't use their name. Luckily, I had recorded people's emails addresses, but I had to go through my list of 90-some names and find this person's email address to identify who it was. So I know that it's probably a little thing, but when I'm dealing with 93 people, I don't want to screw up. I want to make sure I've got the right name on the right slide of the picture. I'm sure you wouldn't want your quilt or whatever showing up there with somebody else's name on it. So I ask you, please, and not just your first name. I have got several people that all have the first names. I need your first and your last. No nicknames. Now, this is going to become very, very important shortly. On the day of the retreat, when you sign in, you must use your real name and you must use your first and last name, please, or I won't let you in. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want anybody slipping in that shouldn't be there and causing havoc. That's the way that I can identify who you are. So, before you hit all the buttons to come in on Zoom, when you first go to link up with Zoom, if you look, you will see a spot that says what your name is. Now, sometimes it defaults. If you've signed up with Zoom on there using your regular name, that won't be a problem. But some people use an alias or just their first name. And that's what's going to show up. Or they don't use a name at all. And what happens is Zoom puts it up, and I'm sure you've seen this before, guest iPad or iPad 2 or something like that, That's not your name. You need to change that. Now, if you are confused about changing it, okay, do a little exploration first to learn. It's not that difficult. But if by chance, on the day of the retreat, you're really lost about that, I can change it for you as soon as I identify who you are. However, that's going to delay entry for other people coming in. Okay? I admit people in one at a time. I have a checklist. I'm taking attendance, basically. Okay? That's why the registration. So I see you come up in the waiting room. I look at my list. I check your name off. I let you in. It takes me 15 seconds to do that, usually. But if you don't have your name in there, it's going to take a little longer because now I'm going to be exploring you. And I'll be really honest about it. If your name doesn't come up readily and I've got 5 people waiting to get in and they've all got their names there, I'm going to let them in first. Because they're sitting there. I'm not going to make them wait while I try to sort out what your name really is. I'm not being nasty. I'm not being cruel. I'm being organized.
Yeah, because you don't really want to let somebody in that isn't supposed to be there, and they can start causing problems with the group.
Yeah.
Like,
we have never. Yeah, that was a different thing. But we have never in the retreat history, this is what, the 6th retreat, I think, that I've run, I have never had anybody come into the retreat because I follow this procedure that has caused us any grief. And that's the way I want to keep it. So that's why I seem very demanding about this, okay? So back to the picture. You have until October 14th, which is next... When is that? It's next Saturday, okay? to get one picture in. Don't worry. Don't be writing me a whole explanation. Don't be telling me, yes, I made this quilt when my grandmother went into the hospital for her and it was on her bed for years and years. And I really loved the pattern and it was already gone. They don't make it anymore, but I loved it. I used this. No, don't waste your time with that because I'm not going to use any of that. I'm going to use your picture and your name. That's it for the slideshow. Because quite honestly, let's face it, nobody wants to read the human interest story that goes with everybody's quilt. Not that many of them. Different if I was, featuring one when I do it like on my Idiot Quilter thing. That's different, okay? Because I'm just focusing on one quilt. But I'm going to have a potential 93 or 93 creations. And it doesn't have to be a quilt. It could be a garment you've made. It could be a table runner. It could be a wreath. It could be a wall hanging. It could be whatever. A creative thing. Doesn't necessarily actually have to be fiber.
Yeah, and occasionally we have people join that aren't actually quilters that are on, and
that are
it could be an artwork
artists.
or something like that.
So yeah, it's anything that you're proud of that you like to show off. That's what it's all about. Okay, so yeah, we're doing fine. I've started working on the slideshow, as a matter of fact, with that, and I find it easier than leaving it all. So I have to do everybody's picture and sort them out. I do, as your pictures come into me, I have a routine. I make the slide right then and there. I save your photo to a special file, and I send you off an email thanking you for it. And all that, because I really have this streamlined. Okay? I've done it enough times now, and I'm all about using technology to make my life easier. So, yep. So if you have any questions about the retreat, you're always free to email me. And my contact information is in a different spot now. It used to be in the show notes. Go to the tab that says About, and in there you will see something that says Business Address. That's how YouTube does it. And you'll probably have to click on that, and it'll want you to put in a check mark where it's verifying you're not a robot, and then my email address will appear. I've even put, though, into the show notes now a link directly to that because some people had trouble finding that tab, because you'll look at one of my videos and you say, well, there's no tabs, and there isn't. You need to click on my face right there, and that takes you right to the main page of the YouTube channel, and then you'll see all the tabs across the top. Okay? So, yeah, I'm doing that for security reasons. Okay, what are people saying? Oh, Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. It's okay, Stephen. I have to explain the acronyms and the short forms to my husband all the time. He's 3 years older than me and at least a generation behind. Hey, actually, it's not a question of whether I know them or not. Here's what it really is. I refuse to use them. I'm sorry. I taught with a bunch of kids in high school that used this kind of stuff all the time and thought they were part of the English language when they wrote essays. And I just make a point of seldom using. I use one, LOL. Okay? Laugh out loud. I might start using, though, LMAO.
Yeah, laugh my ass off.
Yeah, laugh on my ass off. I kind of like that because it said ass in there. But, yeah, I don't use them.
Yeah, I tend not to use them either, but I know a few of them, and some of them I see pop up. I have to look up.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't use emojis either. Really, very seldom. Some on the odd occasion, I might use a smiley face on that, but it's because of my experience when I was teaching school.
Well,
kids
probably our age too. We were never used to using that.
Well, no, we didn't have them when we were kids and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's new old dog, new tricks, whatever. Kelly's gotta go. Enjoy your turkey dinner, John. Okay, bye, Kelly. She's probably gone all right by the time I saw that. Lucy says, I expect their email was fuzzy duckling or something. B.
Some non-distinct.
No, it was just what people. I know people have aliases, right? And that's fine. But for this occasion, yeah, I mean, it's just an organizational thing. That's all. That's why I need your real name, because it just keeps things organized. That's it. Sweet Granny says, laughing is good medicine when I'm under the weather. Yeah, laughter's best medicine, right? Kathy Patter says, I haven't seen the gnomes before. Love it. See? Not everybody saw them. Happy Thanksgiving. Can't wait to hear how the purple pepper tastes. Yeah, I'm a little afraid of that. Oh, yeah. Stephanie says, like the other Stephen. Yeah, that was an unfortunate incident, which I missed. Damn. To this day, I regret that. I missed that. But that's a story for another day. Heidi says, never forget. Oh, yeah, Heidi was there. She knows what this is talking about. Barb Olson. Rolling on the floor, laughing my ass off. See, I knew that one. That one I knew. That's too many letters. I don't even use LOL or ROFL. I use hearts to comment on YouTube. No, I meant to identify the quilt.
Yeah, no, she meant that she took a fuzzy duckling as somebody writing that as a message on their email. Their email address is fuzzy duckling, which is not somebody that you identify with a name.
Yeah, right.
That's what she's saying.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I know.
So yep, in about another week, well, actually, I'll probably send out another reminder about getting the pictures into me. And then after that deadline is reached, we're 1 week away from the retreat. I will be sending out a major email to everybody on the registration list, which will have the agenda for the day. It will talk about when the speakers are going on. And it will also have links to some YouTube videos to help you out with your devices for joining Zoom if you have a problem. Like some people use Android devices, and I don't have an Android device, so I don't know how those work. And some people are using different versions of iPhones or iPads, things like that. There's one lady, I didn't know you could do this, but she can connect to Zoom using her Kindle, apparently, with that. So I found that out on Wednesday. One of our people that joined us was doing that. So you see, there's a lot of devices that can connect through Zoom. And I will have Walter on here as well as technical advisor. And he'll be watching to see what things I miss as well. I'm not complaining about this because I enjoy doing this. Because if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. But there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes leading up to the day of and during the day of. I run 3 computers plus Walter's computer as well on that day to keep everything running smoothly, to, hoping that I can, if people have technical problems, I can solve them for them, or we can between the two of us and everything like that. So, yeah. So that's why when I say I want these little things, it may seem picky, but really it's just to keep everything running smooth that day. So watch your email boxes for information. There are a couple of you on here that I cannot send you an email through my regular email, but I have noted that to myself. It seems your system, and I'm talking about like Philippa in Australia, Jeannie, your internet providers do not like my internet provider for some reason. And so, but if I send them through Gmail instead of my Bell one, you seem to get them. So I made a note for that. So anything that I sign out or that I send out, I go to my Gmail email account and send those to you guys. So you'll get them too. I don't know why. It just doesn't like, my internet provider for some reason. It happens. Okay, what else? Well, I won a prize for the Shop Hop. You know how I said each Shop Hop had a draw for a basket? Well, I won one, and I won it at the place called Quilter's Inn, which was the place that looked like a shack. It's the one where I did this spooky slow motion effect through the store. I did not know I'd hit the button that did that when I was recording it, and I didn't see it when I put it up. Somebody wrote to me. He wrote me kind of a little nasty email. At least it sounded nasty. Maybe they didn't mean to be nasty, but they sounded nasty in it. And so I went back and checked it and went, yep, I hit the slow motion button. So you get a really good look at the Quilter's Inn in there. It's kind of haunting. Now, if you haven't seen the video yet from So Chatty on Friday, and when you get to that part, you know what you can do is you can either skip over it or you can speed up on at your end the YouTube video, and you can probably speed it up enough that it'll be at the regular speed for that. Just remember to turn that feature off when you get back to the rest of it. Sorry about that, but shit happens. So there you go with it. And some of you might think, oh, you didn't really show much about Quilter quilting. No, I didn't. One, I have done videos about Quilter quilting before, but two, there were a lot of people in the store at the time, and I don't like taking video when there's a lot of people in there because, people don't necessarily want to be on, on screen kind of a thing, and it makes it very awkward to, talk to myself to the camera and do that. So yeah, there wasn't that much about Quilter quilting, but each store had a basket, and I got a call from Quilter's Inn. So we wanted to go back to Quilter's Inn, or I did, because they had, I told you, good selection at good prices for wide back. So we went up on Thursday, and you'll see it on the Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and we went through all their wide backs. Not all of it was a good price. Most of it, though, was. And I bought quite a bit. I bought 21 meters of wide back. And, well, I'll talk more about that on Idiot Quilter, but it still got a really good price. And I also will show you what I got in the basket.
They said supposedly on a channel that it's $75 worth of stuff. Well, that's pushing it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that place that had the Christmas box that Stephanie was very disappointed in, that came from Canada last year. What was it? Quilting Genie or Quilting
Yeah, it's
Gnome?
like all the stuff that they don't sell, but ends up in a box.
Yeah, it still had the dust on it too. But I love the box it came in. I'm using it right now. So it wasn't a complete loss. Well, it is what it is. It didn't cost me anything, so whatever. Of course, I did spend a lot of money in their store, but whatever. But you'll see that on Tuesday on the Idiot Quilter. I'll be showing you all that. So what are people saying here? Thank you, Colleen. Yes, and Lucy. Yeah. Well, you may want to take the congratulations back once you see what really was in that basket. Well, thank you, Barb. I'm glad you do appreciate it. I do it because I like doing it and it's fun. Oh, Janice is here. Hi, Janice. I'm just looking up and now looking down. Yes, I was prepping you for Halloween, Stephanie. I think people forget that YouTube is done as a hobby by most people. It's not a large professional TV production. Very true, Lucy. Some people do forget that and are very nasty. And in fact, we're going to talk about nasty people and other things on So Chatty this week. We're going to talk about etiquette. This was suggested to me by a couple of YouTube creators who are friends of mine, and they thought this might be an appropriate topic for Walter and I to talk about, and we are. So stay tuned. That's on Friday on So Chatty. Lucy says $20. Oh, you mean the value of what? Well, it's supposed to be a value of 75, but no. But you'll see why. I mean, if I had been a hand sewer, I might have been thrilled. Okay, I'll say that. But, there's no guarantee that somebody that won this was going to be a hand sewer. So, you might want to throw in a couple of things for that. But the whole thing was kind of geared towards somebody who was a hand sewer or a hand embroiderer kind of a thing. And it was like Walter said, there was some old stock in there. Heidi says maximum YouTube speed bump is 1.75 times, which did not quite counteract the slow-mo. I was mostly concerned about my internet connection. Yeah. Thank you, Heidi. I can always count on Heidi for the technical aspects of things. She is just Miss Technical. Maybe I should have you, Heidi, as my technical expert for the retreat on there. That might work out.
Yeah, actually, when you did the slow-mo, it caused the lights in the store to flicker as well. So it was extra spooky. So
if you have an epileptic or you suffer from a migraine, you might want to skip over that part because, yeah, the lights are kind of flashing away there. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that had happened. I don't do a lot of editing, But when I was dropping my pieces into Final Cut Pro, that's the program I use on my Mac to put it all together, I skim through, and when I skim just to check things a little bit, but I don't watch all the videos I've already recorded from beginning to end, because then I'd never get one up. That one got by me. I'm an idiot. So what? Sue me.
We've had that happen once before.
Oh, yeah.
On a vacation where you're filming something and then all of a sudden your hand hits the slow-mo button and then it...
Yeah. So anyways, we had a lot of comments though on about shop hops in general after that video, and some people were saying that there's these shop hops down the States that have like 40 to 60. One lady said 65 stores were on the shop hop. They did it over
You'd spend a lot of money doing.
Well, she said it took them a month. They did it over a month period, kind of a thing. I don't know how many states it went through, or if it was one state or not. But holy crap! I found doing 4 in one day was pushing it. With how far they were from each other and stuff like that. But yeah, and a lot of people are talking about the prizes that some of these shop hops have, or like a sewing machine as a prize. Gift certificates or whatever for, $250, $300, stuff like that. Like, these must be like big stores kind of a thing that do this kind of thing. I don't know, because these stores here are little tiny things, so they probably can't afford to put that kind of money out on it. You're welcome, Sherlock. No problem. So what else happened this week? Oh, we went to Costco. Okay. My car is a 2008. It has 70,000 kilometers on it, so it's low mileage for a car that's 14 years old, 15 years old, okay? It still runs well, mainly because I never drive it. It was until recently, living in the garage. Now my baby is being exposed to the elements because the new car took precedent, because Walter's afraid someone's going to hijack it, kind of a deal. So fine. But I've been having trouble with my tires, the rims actually. My tires, anytime I'm going to take it out, Walter goes out and checks my tires and sometimes has to top them up. We have a compressor for this. And so I finally made the plunge. I have not had an oil change since 2019. Now, before you all shit your pants on that, it's a Honda. The Honda has a thing on it telling you when you should get your oil changed. It has a countdown thing on it. I'm still at 60, or I was, before I got it changed, it was at 60% of life still left in it.
However, your oil can still break down.
But my oil is synthetic.
But it can still break down.
But it didn't, did it?
Well, I don't know. I just always get a little worried about that.
Well, whatever. Okay? The thing is, I hate taking it to the dealership to have anything done, because they'll always find 100 other things that they want to sell you.
Especially when your car gets older.
And this particular Honda dealership that I deal with, they're pricks. Yes, I could probably go somewhere else or do something, but when it comes to cars, I hate going to dentists, number 1. I hate going to doctors, number 2. And I hate going to car dealerships, number 3. Okay, in that order with that. Because they're always trying to find out, they always try to show you there's something wrong with you or your car. So, that. Well, I decided that I got new tires a couple of years ago on my car at Costco, and they're still under warranty and everything, but I didn't think this was a warranty thing. I figured my rims, right? They're either bent or they're probably corroded, whatever. I mean, it's a 15-year-old car. They're the original rims, right? So I went online to book an appointment with Costco, and I got it for Thursday, got it really quick, and I noticed they also do oil changes, and I thought, bonus! So I signed up for that too. So took it in. They had it for a couple of hours. The guy said, okay, he said it may take me a little bit longer than usually. I think they usually do stuff in about 45-minute blocks. He said it's going to take maybe a little longer for that. I said, I'm not in any rush. It's okay. You just call me when it's done. So anyways, he did. This poor guy, he resealed the beads or whatever.
Yeah, on all 4 tires.
But one of them, he had a problem with. He tried it 5 times to get it right, and I thought, oh my God, you poor guy. He he went to the nth. And this was all covered by my warranty on the tires. So I didn't have to pay a cent.
Yeah, so all you had to pay for was the oil change.
And the oil change was cheap. With tax, it was $67. And they used synthetic oil as well. What was in there? I was really impressed with the customer service. So the guy said, the rims are, and I said, yeah, I'm not surprised. I said, do you sell rims? And he says, well, you can go online. He says, we don't sell them in the store. You go online to Costco. And you can buy them there. They take you to a third-party thing, but whatnot. And I said, well, do they ship them to you or do they ship them to me? He says, unfortunately, he says, they ship them to you, but he says they're not that heavy. You just load them up in the car, make an appointment, we'll put them on. They probably charge something for putting them on, but I don't care. And rims weren't that expensive. I mean, it cost me with tax and that about $268 or something like that, $272. So just under $300.
Yeah,
kind of for 4 new rims. So I'm waiting for those to arrive. They may arrive next week, I don't know, and then I'll make an appointment and get that done. So, I figure it was worth it. I thought I had visions that if I'd gone to the dealership, like they were going to sell me, or one rim was going to be like $500.
Well, not only that, they would have found 20 other things wrong with your car. So, if I have some names of places that you can go for service that I think we'll probably try out when we think your car needs something else done to it. So
what are people saying here? Ohio's all-state shop hop with 60 stores, 3,000 miles to hit them all. Holy crap. Hello, Teresa. There's going to be a statewide shop hop in Texas next year. Wow. Teresa says, I agree with the Honda dollars issue, but I have to side with Walter on the oil changes. After all, 4 years is a lot, driving or not driving. I don't care who you're siding with. The guy told me that car was running really well. 15 years old. I was told by Honda dealership when I first got the car, my car before that, I was used to taking in every 3 months for an oil change, no matter what, or, kind of a thing. I took it in the first time for an oil change on that particular car that I have now. And I think my thing said I still had like 50% life on it. And I took it in. And the guy says, what are you here for? I said, no oil change. He says, this still got 50% life. I said, yeah, but always got my oil changed every 3 months or whatever. He says, no. He says, you do not. You have synthetic oil. He says, you will screw up the system if you do that. Do not bring it in until that thing gets down to a maximum or a minimum of 40%.
Yeah, but they changed their tune when they were contacting you last time to get your car in, whether So
who do you believe? Anyways, yes, it probably shouldn't have waited that long. I will grant you with that. Just don't be woman-splaining to me about these things. Okay, I ordered. Heidi said, "Hi, Iser. I ordered Costco rims before. The interface did make it easy. Yep, it was pretty straightforward." Lucy says a local school used an old VHS tape to record a school play. It was distributed to the parents. The tape had been used to record a documentary, but was followed by a sex program. Not professional. The sex appeared after the final curtain. Well, something a little extra.
Who knows? Some kid might have supplied the tape.
Oh yeah, maybe, yeah. Teresa says Costco. It is for the next oil change. Mine was just in for B13 service, and they tried to tell me I needed a drive chain. Heck with that. I'm not opening that engine unless it's blowing smoke. Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly my philosophy.
Yeah, like actually, I took my car in for a brake job before we went to Halifax, and they told me that I had to have 2 rods replaced on my front steering, and that if those rods went, then I'd lose my steering, right? Well, I really don't know if they needed to be replaced or not, but I replaced them.
But you see, that's the problem.
That's the problem there. And every time, as your car got older, as my car got older to Honda, I always went to Honda for service, But as it got older, it seemed that no matter what I brought that car in for, there was always something extra that needed to be done. So,
yeah, every time. It's like going to the doctor. There, you go in for a little checkup or whatever, and then they start, oh, well, your blood pressure might be a little high. You might have a heart murmur. You might be dead in the morning, but I can't be sure. We need to do tests. Okay, fine. The dentist. Yeah, I went in for a cleaning. Well, we need to take some x-rays and check that out. Can't be sure about that, but, have you thought about tooth whitening? What do they call those things they put over your teeth? Veneers? I don't know what they call them now. Have you thought about this stuff? Yeah. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah, I thought about not doing it.
I was saying, Teresa, if Heidi's correct, if a timing chain is really important, if timing chain breaks or something like that, it can basically wreck your engine. Yeah. But if Honda's telling you a timing chain needs to be fixed, I would get a second opinion if possible.
Yeah.
Because a timing chain fix is a really expensive fix. And you don't want to have to do it unless you have to. So,
yeah. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I never think to ask people for thumbs up or anything like that. It just never. Oh, wait. Thumbs up, you say? Have a thumbs up. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Freaky. Freaky.
Yeah, Teresa. Yeah, it sounds like you might need a new timing chain.
I forgot about that feature.
Yeah, 230,000 kilometers. Yeah, could be your timing chain.
Wow. 230,000 kilometers? Mine's just an infant. It's funny, though. If you don't do some of the service, they suggest they don't mention it the next time you're in.
Yeah, that's true. I've had that before. Yeah, it's true.
Iser says dealerships will set the oil level to make you come in more often. If you went over your personal average, they will set your next service accordingly. Yeah, they've got lots of tricks. I don't trust them. But like I said, now that I know that Costco will do oil change and their system is so easy and they're not sitting there trying to sell you something else or the whole bit, I'll be going back to Costco.
Yeah, sure. Actually, and yeah, I've been to a lot of these oil change shops that people go to. They try and sell you stuff that you don't need, and so they're places that I kind of avoid to go to if I can.
Yeah. So, and Teresa says it's like the effects, Stephen. Oh, I like the effects, Stephen. Oh, then I see you corrected my spelling of my name. Okay. I guess I won't have to send out my goons then to hunt you down and have you slaughtered like a turkey for Thanksgiving. Teresa says, that's a Honda CRV. It's like a Timex watch. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Yeah, well, unless somebody decides to gun it and drive into you.
Yes. Well, I couldn't really see, so I thought I'd just gun it and take my chance. Right, you old bitch. Okay, so we had, speaking of, scams and things like that. So we had a young lady come to the door the other day. She represented Rogers. Rogers is one of our internet providers here in Ontario. We only have really two, Rogers and Bell. We're on Bell. Rogers, we had it years ago. Hate them. They're horrible, blah, blah, blah. She's there, and I see she's wearing a shirt, and it says Rogers on it, and I go, okay, before you get started, because they have a spiel, right? And I said, I don't want to waste your time. I'll just let you know I have no desire to do, I'm happy with my provider that I have now. I don't want to deal with Rogers. Well, why? And I said, well, I can list things for you, and I did. And then she goes, well, and I said, one of the things is you standing here on my doorstep. Well, she didn't take no for an answer. Now, I don't want to make this sound racist or anything, but she was from, that place where a lot of the spam calls come from in the world. Not saying she was a spammer or anything like that. I could understand her, but she wasn't a native to the country. She was relatively new. nice to see that she was, trying to get a job, trying to support herself, all that kind of thing, because there are many that don't. They claim refugee status, and, we'll have that whole problem. And I know you have that same problem in the United States as well. But then she, just like the spammers on the telephone calls, she wouldn't shut up. She would not take no for an answer. I didn't want to be really rude to her, but she was starting to make me becoming really rude. And the more I said, the more she kept engaging in the conversation. Must have been a ploy with this. Keep them talking, maybe they'll give in. And then she's saying about, she says, well, if I don't do this or whatever, if I don't sell this, sound like she was on commission, I don't get any money. Well, this is not my problem. Okay, I said, and that's why I said to her, I said, well, maybe you should look for a different job. I said, you look like, a very go-getting kind of intelligent young lady. I'm sure we have a lot of jobs available in Canada that you can get. And then I asked her if she was a student, because I thought, well, she might be a university student and here on a visa, right? And I don't know how that all works. No, she wasn't a student. But then she started to go, well, you come here from another country and then you can't get a job and you can't. Well, why did you come here from another country? If it's so bad here, why didn't you stay there? Ooh, thumbs up for it. Like, she was starting to frustrate me to no end. Finally, I got rid of her. But, I'm thinking, excuse me, I'm not your keeper here. This is not my fault, kind of a deal. So, yeah, I was not really impressed with that conversation whatsoever. I mean, I feel a little sorry for her, but she's young. She's breathing. She looked like there was she had the way for all to be able to get a decent job somewhere or whatever. So, you don't need to work for a crap place like Rogers that, and if they're, and I don't think that's completely true. I don't think they're solely on commission. Maybe they are. I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past Rogers. They suck. But, just the attitude. Bizzer says I will check if Sam's does oil changes. I purchased a new battery this summer and they were great. Teresa says, careful with the oil change shops. They hire kids off the street and call them techs. My sister had one top off the brake fluid with trans fluid. Oh, okay. That car was poached. They They got no reimbursement.
Yeah, I've read about those things too. If you watch CBC Marketplace, they had a whole list of things that those places do.
Yeah. Heidi says those specialty oil changes places use a suction mechanism to remove the old oil instead of unscrewing the plug from the oil pan to let the old oil and sludge drain out. Quicker is not better. Oh,
well, that's no good.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. But then I didn't know much about an oil change anyways. I'm not sure what they do.
You're supposed to pull the plug out the bottom.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I know that. I'm not
anyway,
that
yeah,
stupid.
Marilyn, you check if you want Costco, if you purchase tires at Costco, right? In Canada anyway, they have a number of things that they will do for you for free.
Yeah.
For at least 5 years. And I think rotate your tires is one of them. But check your own Costco for what they do.
Well, I was impressed, and it's just one less worry on your mind too with that. Now, if the side mirror
we'll get that fixed. Anyway,
yeah, whatever. Shark says, the guy was mad I wouldn't buy. Had to send my daughter into the house to get dad. The guy blew up even more. He was escorted to jail. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I know. But anyways, that's about all for us today because we got to get on the road here for the turkey and whatnot. So thanks for joining us earlier today, everybody. Those of you that are in Canada, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Actually, it looks like it might be raining out here now. The wind's blowing and whatnot. But anyways, so stay tuned next week for all the other videos that we'll put up. And have a good week, everybody. And we'll see everybody later. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye, everybody.